With so much attention being around the Epic Games Store currently, Tim Sweeney has been making a lot of statements about Epic Games and their new storefront. He has said two things that really took me aback, and those two things were the Epic Games Store won't accept crappy games, and that developers will decide who wins the game store wars, not consumers. First of all, we all knew the policy differences surrounding the Epic Games Store compared to something like Steam. Since the very beginning, we were questioning if the Epic Games Store could be seen as an alternative to Steam in regards to adult-themed games and mature/restricted rated games, since they really came out of nowhere with their storefront announcement, and Steam hasn't had the best track record in terms of banning and removing games as of late. But it was said since day one that the Epic Games Store would not allow adult-themed content, which, from what it sounds like at this point, sounds like adult visual novels and such. But apparently games like GTA or Grand Theft Auto don't fall under these adult-themed content policies, since Sweeney made a statement saying, "We'll have a quality standard that doesn't accept crappy games," he said. "We'll accept reasonably good quality games of any scale, whether small indie games to huge AAA games, and we will take everything up to, like, an R-rated movie or an M-rated game. A Grand Theft Auto would be fine with us, but Epic Games is not going to distribute porn games or bloatware or asset flips or any sort of thing that's meant to shock players. The PC is an open platform, and if we don't distribute it in our store, you can still reach consumers directly." So I'm curious, what are your requirements for not being a crappy game? If you'll accept small indie titles, and of course smaller indie developers, does that mean crappy games fall under what your employees find tasteful enough to be on your platform? This really struck me the wrong way, honestly. The same exact way Steam has been handling adult-themed games. They pick and choose what is allowed, and it sounds like this is going to be the same type of situation. Something could have a more simplistic art style. Do you consider that a crappy game? This is such a shocking yet uninformative statement on his part in my mind. The next point was the clip of, "We'll take everything up to, like, a rated R movie or an M-rated game. A Grand Theft Auto would be fine with us, but Epic's not going to distribute porn games." What do you consider a porn game exactly? An adult visual novel? That's what I would instantly think of. You know, since what they've said previously is that they will not accept games that fall into that category, isn't that hypocritical? Saying that you'll accept something like Grand Theft Auto, which is an adult-themed game, yet nearly all of the adult-themed novels do in fact fall under the mature rating. It's not like they slip under the radar with a lower rating so that the wrong audiences can play it and experience it. And you even say that you'll accept something equal to an R-rated movie equivalent. They'll accept games like Grand Theft Auto with sexually suggestive themes with gore and violence, yet you won't accept a game that is also one that has sexually suggestive content, maybe a little bit more than Grand Theft Auto, but it sounds a bit hypocritical in my opinion. But do you all know the parent organization of Epic Games? Tencent. Do you know what Tencent is? Tencent is the world's 6th largest internet company by revenue, but it is based out of China. And China is the central of what? You guessed it, censorship. Although Tencent does not control Epic Games, which is still controlled by Tim Sweeney, of course, he is the CEO and of course the founder of Epic Games, they have a major influence on everything that the company does. So keep that in the back of your mind when we are really talking about gore and violence compared to sexually suggestive themes. He also did another interview that he said that Epic Games will win the battle for best digital storefront based on its relationship with developers, not with consumers. To sum up his statement, he's saying that having a better selection of games will be more important for drawing in new customers. So in his mind, from how it sounds at least, is that having a healthy relationship with good and consistent developers is much more important than having a well-placed relationship with customers, since consumers come and go, but having a consistent developer base is more important, and that consistency will win the race against other competing platforms. Developers choose which platforms that they sell their content on based on where the consumers are. And also, a lot of developers right now are going to Epic since they take less of a cut compared to Steam, and that is important to these developers, and I 100% understand why. I'm not blaming any of these developers that are choosing to go from A to B, from Steam to Epic. I understand that they have to get the best cut that they can, especially if they are a smaller indie developer. Epic is having their time in the limelight, and this time will end when Steam implements new changes to developers, changes that compete against Epic Game Store's cuts that developers get. The only thing that they will actually be able to hold on to when this happens are their contracts that can't be broken. If the playing field was even in this exact moment, all of the developers would go to Steam. No one would go to Epic, and that's just the truth of it, because Steam is an established platform and there's a large consumer base on Steam. Epic is not as user-friendly, let's be honest, they have even admitted this, and people are already dedicated to Steam as a platform. I definitely don't believe that there should be a single platform, but gamers want some sort of consolidation. They do not want multiple clients to own their games on, and people do already complain about this. But Tim Sweeney's arrogance that he believes he's already won the war before it already has begun is so ridiculous in my mind. The consumer dictates. You don't exist if you don't have consumers. You do not sell products if you do not have consumers. It's the consumer's money that purchases the games from your platform. Don't forget that. Developers can put their games on whichever platform they want, and if no one purchases them, they are going to lose the battle for the best digital storefront Tim Sweeney is referring to. I am astonished that he would make such a statement like this, considering that he has not already won the war, but he thinks that he has already won this war that is going to take a long time to actually win. But I will have linked down below two very great articles. That one is from PC Gamer and the other is from The Gamer, so check out those articles. They were very well written articles and I got a lot of his statements from there. But you guys will have to let me know what you think about Tim Sweeney and his sheer arrogance, I would call it, in this situation. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Do you plan on sticking as far away as possible from Epic Game Store as you can, or are you going to give it a shot? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys again in the next one really soon.